Alright everybody, listen up, and listen good. We're about to face some of the most fearless, ruthless criminals any of you have ever seen. Get ready. Stack on the door. But, boss, aren't these just toddlers? Don't ever let the size and weight of a perpetrator fool you. Yes, sir. Everybody on your knees! Reason number 5,428 of why you should take your kids out of the compulsory education system. We've talked about this a couple times on the channel before, but public school systems are just public indoctrination camps. And this is another reason why you should homeschool your child. This story is actually from back in September when cops responded to a call of a 6-year-old girl throwing a tantrum where it's claimed that she kicked, spit, and possibly even punched some of her supervisors. Since this incident, the chief of police has actually made public statements apologizing to the child and to the family, and the officer involved has been fired, but body cam footage was just released. So according to the Orlando Police Department, a supervisor must be on scene for an arrest involving anybody under the age of 12. However, the officer involved, Turner, reportedly did not contact one for this incident. In the clip, he brags about arresting other minors and even attempts to reassure the school officials that the juvenile detention center is not that bad. But why the supervisors from the school even called 911 in the first place? Well, you'll hear it in a second, but the girl weighs 48 pounds. Now, I do understand that if the school supervisors put hands on the child to restrain her, probably would have resulted in a lawsuit. But the idea that there's no security on the campus, there's no social workers, they didn't contact the family, none of the above happened. Just 911. Some people are so brainwashed that that's the first thing they think of to come clean up a mess. Because that's all law enforcement is anyway. Janitors responding to a mess being made. They don't typically stop crime. They respond to clean up after a crime has been committed. Officer Turner also brags in the video saying that he's made over 6,000 arrests, including his youngest one of 7 years old for shoplifting. When the school officials tell Officer Turner that she's only 6, he says, well, now she's broken the record. The young girl in this case was charged with misdemeanor battery. However, the state attorney has dropped all charges against this child. Now, the silly thing is, it's not an isolated incident. In fact, on the same day, another 6-year-old boy was arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery in the same city. The young girl in this story was taken down to the station, fingerprinted, and had a mugshot taken, and it's reported that she was so short that she actually needed a step stool to be able to take the picture. Now, I'm sure because the story has broken for a second time and the body cam footage has been released, this first grader is going to be one of the first kids in her class to own a house. What I'm trying to say is they're probably going to sue the department and they're probably going to win. And when that story breaks, I'll be the one to tell you. Now let's check out the body cam footage and some of the reports that went along with it.
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please. Give me a second chance.
You gotta go.
I don't want to. You just use it. No. Please. 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 Please, please let me go. No, don't help me.
Good evening. A child just 6 years old is placed in handcuffs by police.
The officer said they had to restrain the girl inside her Mississauga school. CTV's Natalie Johnson is working on the story. So, Natalie, a lot of questions here. Why were police at the school to begin with, and what are they saying?
Well, Ken, police were at the school because staff had called 911 saying the girl was acting violently and that they couldn't calm her down. Police say it was necessary to handcuff her because she was a danger to herself, other students and staff, but the girl's family and their lawyers say the force was excessive. It was back in September that Peel police were called to this school, asked to deal with a 6-year-old student who staff said was acting violently.
According to them, she was kicking, screaming, and spitting, and punching. She weighs 48 pounds.
CTV News is not identifying the 6-year-old. Staff told police they couldn't control her. The child's mother, who we are also not identifying, got the call at work.
Police officer was on the phone and he said, "We had to handcuff your daughter."
She rushed to the school, outraged.
I couldn't even think straight. I was like really angry. Angry at the staff, angry at the police.
Police say it was the 3rd time they were called to this school to deal with this child. They say officers used their discretion and decided that it was necessary to handcuff the girl, first her ankles and then her wrists, to prevent her from harming herself and others.
With regards to the kicking and the punching and the violent actions, they had to restrain her to ensure everyone's safety.
The African Canadian Legal Clinic is now filing numerous complaints against the school board and the police, including human rights complaints.
Had she not been an African Canadian child, I strongly believe this would not have happened.
It's an insult to think that someone would say that race played a part in the way that we dealt with this situation.
Police are reviewing the incident, but the legal clinic wants answers and accountability.
An apology, it's a start and only a start. But I think all that are involved must account for these actions, this abusive action.
The child's mother says her daughter is now traumatized and is scared of police, and she has moved her to a different school. And the school board says that once police arrive on scene to handle this type of call, they do allow the officers to take charge. Both the board and the police say that they tried other de-escalation techniques that failed before they resorted to handcuffs. Reporting live, I'm Natalie Johnson. Ken, over to you.
Now, amid a growing backlash, the Florida school resource officer who arrested 2 6-year-olds at their Orlando school has been fired. Officer Dennis Turner was terminated yesterday. Battery charges against the children have also been dropped. Manuel Bojorquez reports from the police headquarters in Orlando.
On behalf of myself and the entire Orlando Police Department, I apologize to the children involved and their families.
Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolón says he had no choice but to fire Reserve Officer Dennis Turner after Turner arrested 2 6-year-olds at their school last Thursday.
We could not fathom the idea of a 6-year-old being put in the back of a police car.
Turner arrested Kaya Roll after she allegedly kicked a staff member during a tantrum. Roll's grandmother said the outburst was likely a result of the child's sleep apnea.
It was really and truly an injustice on her.
Turner also arrested an unidentified student in a separate incident and sent both children to a juvenile detention center.
The criminal process ends here.
Florida State Attorney Aramis Ayala said her office would not prosecute the 6-year-olds.
I refuse to knowingly play any role in the school-to-prison pipeline at any age.
But juvenile arrests in Florida are not unheard of. Last fiscal year, nearly 3,000 children falling between the ages of 5 and 12 were arrested. Now, Kaya Roll is ready for a return to normal.
I'm just feeling a little sad that I still have to go to the court, but now I don't have to. It's making me happy.
Orlando's police chief says he also sent a letter to all officers on Friday reminding them of the department's policy, which is to have a supervisor sign off on the arrest of anyone under 12. Gail?
That story's still so hard to believe. We thank you very much, Manuel. A charter school resource officer is under investigation in Florida today after arresting 2 children ages 6 and 8. Orlando police say Reserve Officer Dennis Turner was not authorized to make those arrests last week. National correspondent Jerika Duncan shows us how a 6-year-old ended up in handcuffs.
When 6-year-old Kaya Roll was arrested Thursday at Lucius and Emma Nixon Academy in Orlando, her grandmother, Marilyn Kirkland, couldn't believe the call.
So there was an incident and she kicked somebody and she's being charged.
Kirkland says even after she explained that Kaya's outburst was likely the result of a medical condition, the 6-year-old was still charged with battery.
I said, you know, she has a sleep disorder, sleep apnea. He says, well, I have sleep apnea and I don't behave like that.
Orlando police say a department policy that requires approval to arrest anyone younger than 12 was not followed in either Kaya Roll's case or one involving an unidentified 8-year-old. Dennis Turner was the arresting officer, and according to the Orlando Sentinel, he was given a written reprimand in 2015 for excessive use of force involving a taser. As for Kirkland, she says her granddaughter was even taken to a juvenile center for fingerprints and a mugshot.
No 6-year-old child should be able to tell somebody that they had handcuffs on them and they were riding in the back of a police car.
Turner has been suspended pending the outcome of that internal investigation by Orlando PD. He did not respond to our request for comment. In a statement, Police Chief Orlando Rolón said, as a grandparent of 3 children less than 11 years old, this is a very concerning issue to me.
Sounds like somebody needs training.
Yeah,
retraining.
on that one. Handcuffs, fingerprints, charges.
On a 6-year-old kid. I mean,
come on. Jerika, thank you very much.
That's it for today, everybody. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscription button, the bell notification, like, share, comment, and check out the merch. Check us out on Patreon. We got channel memberships, etc., etc. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate every moment of it. I'll see you guys in the next video.